Now, I would start this video with something like, oh my god, guys, after a whole month, F1 is back for the Dutch Grand Prix. Instead, I'm gonna say something like, make the summer break long again. Like, was it just me, or did it fly by super quick? I swear, it's only been 2 weeks since Hungary. The April break felt way longer than this. Anyways, the summer break is indeed over, and from here on, we gotta lock in, chat. It does not matter what year it is. It can be a title fight year, it could be a boring dominant one. Post-summer break F1 is always spicier than pre-summer break F1. Every team on the grid wants to end their year well, and by doing so, they get aggressive with the upgrades and the drivers become more likely to be daring. Like, think of the previous years of F1. Your favorite races likely came from the second half, don't they? And I think this year will be no different. In fact, I actually think this year can show this effect way more than the previous ones. With the cars being so sporadic when racing, if every weekend can see the running order changed up slightly, then count me in. But to bring it back to this week, we of course have the Dutch Grand Prix, and unfortunately, it's going to be the last one for a while. And this is unfortunate since this track has a unique atmosphere, because even aside from the Orange Army being everywhere around here, the location is still very cool and the track has amazing features. I mean, there's the bank corner here, and while most new tracks being developed for F1 are starting to feature one, never forget where the inspiration came from. However, let me play devil's advocate and say, I'm not going to miss this track for its racing. Outside of 2022 and 2023, this race has always been a boring one, since in the downforce heavy cars that produce more dirty air than Cow Farm, I think this layout should explain the lack of good racing. Now, these years' cars operate differently, so perhaps the racing can be good for once, but I don't know, I'm still doubting. Anyways, let us find out if I was right by looking at the teams to watch, the drivers to watch, the drama leading to the weekend, and of course, my predictions for the Grand Prix. Subscribe to find the One Piece, and make sure to check out the Crash Heavy podcast where we either talk about F1 or play Garfield Kart. So with that said, let us get to quacking now.
See those clouds up in the corner? That's where the rain is coming from.
As always, ladies and gents, we have the teams to watch first up, and we basically have the entire grid. I say basically because some teams aren't bringing much here, but most of them are, and it makes sense. The second half is going to start, and it's always better to finish strong rather than start strong. So let's get straight into it with Aston Martin, who, to pair with their new B-Spec introduced in Hungary, is some lovely additions to it, but mainly a sick new engine upgrade. If there was something worse about the Aston car this year, it would have been with their engine. That Honda engine has been fighting with their 2015 engine in terms of its disappointment level since, my goodness me. Remember everyone's hope at the start of last year that Honda were going to have a sick ass engine, Aston would be getting like podiums and shit? Obviously that has not happened, but hey, who can deny in the future? Now, this weekend won't see Aston so high up like that, of course, but I actually think like a P9 Max is on the cards for Alonso, since that car is finally giving me hope again, and rightfully so. But if the jinx hits, not my fault. However, they may face some trouble, since next up is Haas, who have been slacking too. Remember when I said it's better to finish strong than start strong? Haas should take a lesson. They started the year off with a bang, but now you say dang when looking at their fall off. Komatsu is well aware of this, and with his job on the line potentially, along with the Haas name as Toyota are itching to get back in seemingly, Haas cannot fail from here on. This week, they're expected to bring some good upgrades here, with some major ones on track to hit a couple weekends from now. We know Ollie is lethal behind the wheel, and even right now with the car as mid as it is, he is still able to cook hard. So results are basically a given once they are back up to par, but of course, that is if they can reach those levels again. However, with their track record of the past years under Komatsu, I think Haas has nothing to worry about. Or maybe I'm coping. And maybe I am, since next up is Alpine, who have also been slacking as of late. In Miami, Alpine brought a B-Spec car that, after its successes, basically became the catalyst for the other midfield teams to do the same. Now they are all hitting soon, but Alpine know this. Alpine are slated to bring in some heavy-ass upgrades for this week that, while not as large as Miami's, it is pretty close. Alpine since Miami have taken over the midfield as its kings, but Racing Bulls has been contesting their throne, and for the past 2 rounds, I would say they have taken it outright. But with the Racing Bulls sleeping for the next couple of weeks, and with the gap between them still being pretty narrow, I think we can expect to see Alpine as proper midfield leaders again once more. And I welcome it since while Briatore is leading the team, at least their drivers are fun to see succeed. Gasly, of course, is always such a lethal force when the opportunity arises, but my main interest in the team lies with Colapinto. 2025 was hard for him, and while you wouldn't be called crazy for suggesting the same could happen again this year, he has proven everybody wrong. He is such a fun watch in the F1 grid currently, and to see his driving actually pay off for once, it's just such a beautiful thing to see. But now for the top dogs, and let's begin with McLaren. McLaren, of course, won last time out with Lando, and he confirmed something we have been suspecting for a while. He is real good now. Of course, Lando has always been good, but since his title last year, it's like mountains of pressure has been lifted off of him, and damn is it evident. He has been so calm and controlled this year, and Hungary finally gave him a car where he could properly show that off now. So how did McLaren respond? With some more upgrades, of course, with their package this week, basically being a part 2 to last. McLaren have also said that the rest of the year is going to be aggressive from them in the development side of things, and hey, I welcome it. The more teams at the front fighting, the better, of course. And I actually really hope McLaren do so, since I don't think they're within title winning range, which means I see more competition at the front and McLaren won't take home the title. It's such a win for me. Next up is Ferrari, who also like McLaren are going very aggressive with their upgrades. Ferrari have been quiet as of late since the upgrades they have brought have been just enough to keep them close with Mercedes, but the ones this week aim to really close up to them, and I hope they work. But hey, even if they don't, Ferrari have more planned for many weeks to come, and it excites me. Of course, Lewis has been on another level this year, and while Charles had a bit of a slump, it seems he is coming back somewhat, and just imagine for a second how lethal these two will be in a car that is right on Mercedes' level. I am so hyped for the prospects of that, and while I will remain calm and logical by saying Lewis nor the team will win the title, I at least expect them to secure more major results now until season's end. But it's still such a difficult task, as last up is Mercedes, of course. Now, unlike the previous two teams, Mercedes is not going to bring some major upgrade here. They're just bringing some chill parts to keep them ahead, but in the weeks following, they will bring big upgrades again, which to me signals two things. One is that this year is not being given up on, of course, since last year should serve as a warning to teams for being too confident in their standings placement, and two, that the team is thinking way ahead. They want to dominate for years to come, and by playing things more passive than McLaren and Ferrari, but still doing just enough to keep some distance on them, I do genuinely question if the top fight will remain this close in the years to follow. But even if Mercedes do fall off, will that dissuade Kimi from being ridiculously fast and talented? Probably not. Now let's see which driver we should watch during the weekend, and for this week, I think we should keep our eye on little Lando Norris. Lando, of course, won in Hungary last time out, and hey, I thought he did pretty good. And with McLaren furthering upgrades on their car, I mean, it is looking real good for them. And of course, there is still Mercedes, who just aren't bad now, and of course Ferrari, who are not slacking off anytime soon. But I generally think, given McLaren's progress in 2024, they can pull off some very good upgrades and keep up this good form of theirs. Lando has been great all season long, and I do think with a better car, he could start to involve himself in a lot more affairs this year. Now for the drama heading into this week, and man, there ain't been anything going on. Like, with the way news has been slow all year long, you wouldn't even know that there's only been like 8 drivers signed for next year. Anyways, let's discuss one of them, Carlos Sainz. So it has been reported that Sainz is likely to renew with Williams for not only a longer contract, but a significantly richer one as well. Well shit, that means both him and James Alley are happy with each other then, right? Well, cast their minds back just a few weeks ago. Hell, don't even do that with your minds. Do it with your eyes. Carlos has been struggling for most of the season. Or well, that's a bit disingenuous to say. It's more like Williams has been struggling all year long. Williams has of course dropped the ball this year, yada yada, we know. And naturally, rumors have come out saying that Carlos has been doing everything he can, is looking for a way out the team still. The main team that was being discussed was Audi, since with Hulk on the way out soon, who better to replace him than Sainz, am I right? Well, Freddie Slater is a development driver for Audi in F3, and he's doing so well that F2 seems to be the next step already. And considering the talent the boy has, it is expected he will sweep F2, and F1 will be right there for 2028. But if Sainz is contracted, he ain't gonna get a 1-year contract only. He'll be signed for multiple years, and during that time, Slater will be wasting his talent away. So that's the dilemma currently. Sainz is now looking likely to resign with Williams, and as much as I'm happy for Slater's future, it does leave me sad about Carlos because he's not deserving at all to be in the positions he is in. But then what option is he left? He's certainly too old for top teams to grab up, but also not old enough where retirement should be an option. I'm just sad for him is my point. Finally, since there is fuck all in the news, is a story about Cadillac. So if you didn't know, Graham Loudon was a team principal for Caddy, and he was there alright, and despite this being Caddy's first season and all, he has been sacked already and is now replaced by a man by the name of Kik Butowski. Marcin Butowski. Butowski is a good replacement, I would say. He used to be the executive director of Alpine in 2022, and coincidentally, after 2022 is when the team started to go to shit. Now, there are problems with this move, of course. For one, he has been out of the game since his departure from Alpine, since he did some punditry in Poland for a while. Now, is he going to be rusty? Not exactly, since the brain doesn't exactly work like that, but perhaps this shows how desperate Caddy were to get rid of Loudon, and how can I blame them? So with the problems they have had this year, it does raise some eyebrows. But speaking of, the second issue with this move is, was it really worth it? Again, this is Caddy's first season ever. Issues were always expected, and if they're going by the logic that Haas in 2016 were far better, that car was basically the SF15 compared to the Caddy car, which had to be made from scratch. Plus, Cadillac do not have all the facilities in the world just yet, so you'd think they would have some patience, right? But I don't know, I don't work at the team. Either way, his replacement's gonna be good, so let us see how things will fare out for Checo. Now for what you have been waiting for, my predictions for the Dutch Grand Prix. As always, it must be stated that we'll predict 3 things: the top 5 in the qualifying, the top 5 in the race, and a random prediction from any session. It should also be noted that these predictions are based on nothing but pure vibes, so bear with me. For some reason, some idiot put a sprint weekend for Zandvoort, so I think the sprint pole shall go to Chuck Leclerc and the sprint race shall go to Lando Norris. Now for the main qualifying predictions, and I predict that the top 5 on Saturday, starting with 5th, will be Max Verstappen, 4th will be Oscar Piastri, and 3rd will be Kimi Antonelli, and 2nd will be Charles Leclerc, and for pole position I have Lando Norris, who's entering some pretty scary form now. Now for the race predictions, and starting with 5th, I have Lewis Hamilton, and 4th, I have Charles Leclerc, and 3rd, I have Max Verstappen, and 2nd, I have Kimi Antonelli, and the winner of the 2026 Dutch Grand Prix is Lando Norris, who goes 2 for 2 now. Time for my random prediction. I think during the race, there will be 0 safety cars and even yellow flags. Also remember, for a chance to appear in the winners and losers, go join my Discord to make your predictions. So that was the preview. Personally, I am very interested in how the second half will play out because something tells me things are about to get insane. And hey, considering how that happened in the past 2 years, nothing is saying it won't repeat again this year. Either way, a miracle and a half will have to occur should Kimi lose the title by season's end. Anyways, I want to give a quick shout out to Amarizal Flock for the continued support, and make sure to join if you want cool benefits as well as just helping me out. Anyways, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe since it really helps me out, and make sure to let me know in the comments what your predictions are. And as always, have an amazing day.
Good weather for the duck.